I'm going to hand you over to Mr. David McGuinness.
Good afternoon, folks. On behalf of the organisers, me and Graham and David, thank you all for coming out this afternoon. I'm a wee bit nervous. I'm not a public speaker, and I'm going to come at this from a slightly different angle for everybody else. Although it's still going to be along the lines of propaganda, but I'd like to come at this from the angle of what that propaganda does to the psyche of the nation. Now, in 2012, when the referendum campaign kicked off, I started chapping doors. And one of the things that struck me when I was chapping doors was people had the impression that Scotland had nothing to offer the world and couldn't stand on its own 2 feet. I was on doorsteps absolutely gobsmacked. There was generations of people who thought that we had nothing to offer the world, even though we had invented the modern world. And that we can put squarely on the shoulders of that institution behind you all. And the reason I say that is because of the constant negativity that we get from the BBC. Now, when Graham approached me and says, David, we have to do a protest at the BBC. This was about 6 months ago. And I thought about it, and we deferred the date a few times because of some all-under-one banner marches and things like that. And during that period, I would climb into my truck every morning and switch on GMS. And the constant negativity was wrist-slitting material. And it was no wonder that the people of Scotland thought they had nothing to offer the world. Day in, day out, no matter what sort of press release there would be, what sort of report would come out, this institution would look for the negatives, and that would be the headline. They browbeated us. They browbeated the people of Scotland day in, day out, and they are still doing it. And that's my concern. What does that do to the psyche of the nation when every day when we get up we are told our institutions are crap, that our education system is crap, that our NHS is crap, that our police is crap, that our fire service is crap, that our railways are crap, and every other public institution that we have here in Scotland is crap. And that really, really worries me. That institution behind us, which is based in London, and probably almost all its output is inspected in London, and they're told whether they can release that to the Scottish public or not. But the institutional negativity coming from that building, beamed into your front room, into your radio in the car as you go to work each day, it is atrocious. If we were to believe even half of what these people say, then it's true. We are too wee, too poor and too stupid if we can't think above what these people are saying. The constant negativity is a big worry for me, and it should be a big worry for us all, every one of us. We have crime at a 40-year low. Police Scotland are crap according to these people. We have educational attainment at an all-time high. Last week, the stats dropped by 0.2%, and this lot went to town on the education system. Day in, day out, we hear it about our NHS. You know, how much under pressure they are, how crap they are. Well, I'll tell you, 6 months ago, I snapped my Achilles tendon. I had first-class service from the NHS. And every time these people opened their mouths, it was NHS crap. I'm surprised that our staff in the NHS didn't bombard that building. I'm surprised they didn't storm the building. If I was working in the NHS listening to what was coming out of that building each day, I would have quit. I'd be on the first flight to Australia looking for another job. These people are doing such damage to our society that it's not true. You know, it is absolutely frightening, the damage that they are doing to our society. And I wonder about the damage they are doing to the psychology of the country. Our future generations growing up hearing, you're rubbish. Your education system's rubbish. Your health system's rubbish. Your police are rubbish. Everything's rubbish. These people would have us believe that we are incapable of running our own affairs. And this took me to the 2014 referendum, when a certain Miss Joanne Lamont on television said that we are not genetically designed to make our own decisions. I watched that woman be bombarded. And you know what? She never blinked an eyelid. She actually believed it, and that got me thinking, is this some sort of mind control? Is this brainwashing? Because that woman, she took pelters in the press. She took pelters on social media. She took pelters from us all. Never batted an eyelid. She actually believed that we are no capable of making our own decisions. And that terrified me, because that made me think, how long has this brainwashing been going on that a senior politician in Scotland, in our parliament, does not believe that we, the people, are capable of running our own affairs? Remember, we invented the modern world, and there we have the leader of the Labour Party at the time telling us that we were not capable of running our own affairs. And that lot in there are responsible for that mindset. They really are. And it is frightening. We have a generation coming through at the moment who are being told that we are absolutely incapable of running our own affairs. We had 55% of the population believe that we are not capable of running our own affairs. And that has to do with that institution there. That London-based propaganda machine, because that's what it is in Scotland. That's exactly what it is in Scotland. Now, I do not for 1 minute believe that the people in that building are bad journalists. I do not believe that for 1 minute. Which means that the editorial control is not coming from that building, because they are not broadcasting on our behalf. They are broadcasting to us, and they are telling us that we are not good enough. And that is not what we want from our broadcasters. Well, the answer is quite simple. We need our own broadcaster. Do you know, as the wee Ginger Doug said, we are the only devolved country in the planet that doesn't have its own broadcaster. But that's no mistake. That's deliberate. The people who run that institution there do not want the Scottish people having a conversation with themselves. Because if we start to talk to ourselves and we start to talk to each other, we are going to realise that we are more than capable of running our own affairs. We are going to realise that we did invent the modern world. The propaganda that these people put out to us every day, coming into our homes and our cars, are coming through instruments that we invented. We invented the television. These people are exploiting our ingenuity to suppress us. And that scares me. And it scares me of what it's going to do to the psyche of the nation as we move forward. This constant negativity is really depressing. So I thank you all for coming here today, because it's important that we let these people know that we are very disappointed with their output. We are very disappointed in their attitude. And we are not happy at being told we are not good enough to run our own affairs. I don't really have much more to say than that. I'm not a public speaker, as I say, but as I climb in and out my truck each day and I put that radio on and I listen to the constant negativity coming out of that building, I know the damage it's going to do to our nation. So we have to get out and we have to protest. We don't just have to protest this institution. The next target should be the Scotland office. Now, marching up and down the streets is excellent for a public profile, but we need to attack the institutions that are attacking us. And that's that lot in there and the Scotland office. And we need to make it clear to these people that we are more than capable of running our own affairs. We are more than capable of having a discussion with ourselves, and we are more than capable of making our own decisions. As I say, once again, thank you very much for coming here today.
It was introduced under
somehow,
Westminster rule,
yes, of course,
Joanne.
but it could be introduced anywhere if people believed it was a good idea. We're not genetically programmed in Scotland to make political decisions.